friends, Amanda here with you today, sharing this really cute. I'm going to use it as a decorative photo and I'm going to frame it. But this is what I've made today with adorable little Pooh and Piglet from the Oh Bother stamp set. And you can see that I've used the layered Poppies die and the Ferns. So we're going to get into what you're going to need to make this card. So first up, the stamp set Oh Bother, and we're going to be using Pooh and Piglet, and the sentiment that reads, "It isn't much good having anything exciting if you can't share it with somebody." And that's where we put our sentiment there. So the Oh Bother stamp set, the A2 book plate die, and we're using this frame and this outer frame. The tree branch die, and we're going to be using both of those. And again, I put mine on magnets so they don't fly around inside my packaging. In the forest paper pack. And here's a variety of other dies that we're going to use in coordinating with this. The grass patches die, the fern leaf die, the leafy vine die, and the layered Poppies die. So that is what we're going to use to make this really cute Pooh. And again, I am going to be framing this and hanging it on a wall because it's so cute. All right, for our colors today, for our reds, we're using R59, R39, R17, R27, R14, and R29. For our greens, we're using G09 G28 G03 G07 and G17. For our little Piglet and for some of the blushes, we're using RV17, R00, R20, RV25, R22, and RB04. And that is for Pooh, or for Piglet, and some of the blushes. For Pooh himself, we're using YR23, YR24, Y26, and Y35. The G20, I just brushed just the very top part of this little poppy bud. Otherwise, the tree branch is E37 E25. The blacks of the poppies themselves is 100. So that is what we use to make this really cute card. Oh, and then yellow paper. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're going to take that A2 book plate die, and right in the center of that paper, we are going to be cutting it out, and then along with that, we are going to be using the outer part of that book plate die where it can put a shadow, and we're going to use a yellow. I'm going to place that right in the middle, and then I'm going to start arranging the pieces that go on the inside to where they should fit. Just gluing the outer part just because you don't have anything in the middle now that we've cut out that paper, and just laying it down. I have some pop dots off to the side over here, and I'm just going to be placing 3 per section. I don't want it too bulky as it's going to be put into a picture frame and hang on a wall. Just getting these arranged here real fast. I'm going to start placing down my top section first just so I can see where the placement is, because I do want a little bit of that yellow showing through per section. And then I will do the bottom piece. And just getting all of the little paper bits out of the way and laying that down. And now just getting the center lined up just right so that we do have just a little bit of that yellow showing through. And now we are getting ready to stamp our Pooh and Piglet here on my Copic friendly cardstock. The stamp set is Oh Bother. And I'm going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to be coloring this with my Copics. The yellows that I'll be using for Pooh are YR24, YR23, Y26, and Y35. And just as I usually do, I'm starting with the darkest color, and I'm just kind of going around where his body touches or where his shadows may be lying, and I'm just putting down some dark color first, and then I'm going to go in with the next lightest, and so on and so forth. So for right now, while you watch me color, I am just going to play some music, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, we're going to be getting into the reds that I will be using for this card, and those are R59, R39, R29, R27, R17, R14, and R00. Now, I don't use all of those colors for this pot. I started with R39, R29, R27, and I'm just dragging out that dark color that I had going on and pulling it towards the center. Here I'm using my lightest, which is R17 for this pot, and again, it's a very small, subtle detail, but it does give it that little bit of shine. Now on to Piglet, we're using R20, and we're just going all over his little light parts of his body, and the darker colors that we're going to be using for like his little sweater vest that he has is RV25, RV17, and RV04. R22 is the darker parts of little Mr. Piglet. And I apologize, my voice is giving out because I have a slight cold and the weather is changing, so does my voice. Just adding those little blushy colors to their cheeks, blending out that R22 and the R20. RV04 is going to be the base color of his little sweater vest, and just applying that everywhere. RV25 for his lines, for his shading, and then RV17 for the lines that actually go across his little body. Now we're going to add those white little dots, gel pen details to make everything just really stand out. Next, we're going to fussy cut that little cute couple out here, and we're going to move on to these poppies and the ferns. I've die cut them out with Copic friendly ink. The darkest part of the poppy is the center, so starting with my darkest color first, and then going to the next lightest, and so on and so forth until I've hit the lightest color in this round, which is R14. These poppies are so beautiful, and I think it really adds a lot of detail to this little cute scene that we've got going on here. So for right now, I'm going to let you listen to some music while I finish coloring up these poppies. It's pretty self-explanatory. My mat that I'm using is a waffle flower mat. It helps the die cuts not shift around so much, and it cleans up pretty good. I have a few stains on there from using oxide ink. Sometimes it doesn't always come off, but that's what I'm flicking my die cuts with, is the waffle flower mat. And I'm going to let you listen to some music, and I'll catch you back in a little bit. Alright, so the little ferns and the leafy die, we are using G28, G09, G07, YG17, and YG03. Did I say G07? Yeah. And I'm using my darkest color first. I am not being particular with this color. I feel that the more irregularity that you have with your shapes that I'm going to be using for this card, so I'm going to let you continue to watch. Nature is perfect. Shadows are perfect. I'll come back and explain a little bit my darkest color, and then moving on to my next lightest color, and so on and so forth. On the stem of the poppy that you saw me use, I was using YG03, YG17, and I think it was G07. I've pre-placed where I want everything to fit, so I know where everything is going to go as I start gluing down, and there's no guesswork. So I'm just adding some glue and laying everything down, and after I get all this laid down, then I'm going to color up my branches and then glue those down as well. So I already put away my waffle flower mat, so that is why I left the dies inside the die cut. You can be super messy with this way and not really have to worry about things shifting and moving that you don't want them to do. So really super messy, coloring easy. If you don't have something to hold down the die cut to, this is one of the easiest things that you can do to color up your die cuts. Alright, getting those tree branches placed just right in the corner of this adorable little scene. And you can see that the bookplate die is popped up. I just lay the branch right over top. It's not going to get touched. It's not going to get moved. It's just fine. Alright, now we're going to stamp our sentiment. You could do this before if you'd like, but I'm just doing it now. It's not that big of a deal. I was making sure I had enough room for my sentiment. So I'm going to be using VersaFine Clear. With that, this is a completed project. I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching us put together this fun scene. I hope you like and subscribe, and do come again next week. Have a good day. Bye.